hopefully they have one.
But also, I feel like when you ask me about your
it's probably like
question,
mocktails or something.
Like, I now almost find it like irritating, like the how do you keep the balance? Because there's no balance. Right? And then like, no people, isn't there a problem with that? I'm like, no, because I don't see it forever. Like, if you're right, and if you're a mompreneur, and even if you're not, even if you're a mom and you don't work, it doesn't matter. It's like this stage of life with young kids is crazy, and it just is. And all the power to you if you can fit in your massage and your Pilates class, because I'm not that person. So if you're not that person, it's just understanding that life, like the chunks of it, are not forever. Like this is right now, but before I know it, my kids are gonna be in high school, and I'm gonna be like, what happened?
Right.
Now I got all this time in my hands, or they'll be doing something else that's stressing. But it'll be like a different phase, and I think people see now is forever always, and then they get caught up in it. Like, oh, I can't do this forever. Nobody can.
Yeah.
And it's not forever.
No.
It's a stage.
Right. Hopefully it grows
paths.
and it's successful, and then there's something else.
Yeah.
And if it is forever, then it's probably not working. Have to do something else.
Yeah. A kid will be terrible too forever. Tumultuous
Right.
too, as I like
Then
to
they
say.
get into the three-nature.
I know. I'm warned.
Three-nature
I've been warned.
is the worst.
I've been warned.
I didn't have a terrible 2, but I have a 3 coming on. And the
three-nager.
I had
So
twos.
bad.
I like that. Even as bad as I think
The
everything.
2s were not
No,
bad.
the 2s
but
were
now my
fine.
son,
3
I'm
was
trying to
awful.
figure.
For me too.
3 is awful. I'm trying to
Really?
figure. He's going to be 3 in
Yeah, he's
October.
too happy.
I'm trying to figure out if it's because he's turning 3 or because they just had a baby, and I can't figure out.
Probably
Yeah.
both.
Still
Yeah.
Emily.
Probably
He was
a little
an
bit
angel
sweet.
until about a month ago.
I was like,
What is wrong with you?
We're going through the same thing, and that's what I wanted to ask you was what did you do to control like the older babies hitting or like jealousy issues? Because we're having a lot of jealousy issues in the house right now.
I mean, I think first we have to like obviously respect and understand they're gonna be jealous, like to pretend they're not gonna be as crazy, just as much as you would be too, you know?
Yeah.
And then you have to do certain things. Like there's a couple things. Obviously, you can't let them get away with it, obviously, but at the same time, you have to understand when they're doing it, and you have to make time for them.
Right.
And I found it really hard because when you look at your tiny little baby, and then you have your toddler. Even if they're only, 14 months, suddenly they're the older kid to you.
Right.
And you become very like, you can do this, you can handle it, go put on your clothes, whatever you want them to do. They need you, too.
Yeah.
And they probably need you more, actually, than the little baby needs you right now. Mm-hmm. But you just had one baby and you held that baby all the time.
Yeah.
So you want to do the same thing with this baby, you can't. Mm-hmm. You have to let this baby, which by the way, will be way more relaxed. Because you didn't
It
do
is
that,
more relaxed.
But you need to let them be while you're by yourself.
Yeah.
The other one. And then the third thing is not to be negative about the baby. People often end up apologizing all the time, being like, oh, I'm so sorry. I got to go pick up the baby. I'm so sorry. And then the kid starts to think that there's a negative thing about the baby.
Right.
Rather than like, woohoo!
Yeah.
Mama's going to leave the room for a second. Right back. Don't worry. You know what I mean?
I've been trying to get him out of the house.
Negative about it because we feel guilty.
Yeah. I've been doing a lot of individual time with him, too, and it's just...
I think 6 months is kind of like the breakthrough.
Yeah.
That's when your baby will be old enough that you are all the child.
And I can
like,
sleep.
This thing is kind of interesting.
And you can sleep.
Yeah.
More than an hour at a time.
That might.
Gotcha.
And remembering this phase won't last forever.
Yeah.
And your son, who's older, is not going to remember. Like, I would always look at my kid and be like, oh my God, you'd be so wounded.
I know. I always think that.
He's
not
not
gonna
thinking it's going to affect his personality.
No.
Whatever I'm doing now is going to affect the way he is in 10
And
years.
yes, to like some extent, of course, but he's not going to be around in therapy at like age 30. Like, I remember my mom had that other kid. And she got that kid and looked after it. I hate it for it. They don't want to say that. Like, if we have stuff, they're going to have issues with. This is not one of them.
And she picked the kid up.
Yeah, but
when
cried.
I wanted her to change
So
him.
unreasonable. But it's hard. It's hard.
Definitely.
That's probably not the answer you wanted, but it is hard.